8:03. Okay, call this meeting of June 27, 2024 to order. First thing is public forum. Anybody have anything to address? None? Okay, first is, next thing is the review of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes to review, one from 6/5/24 and 6/13/24. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Do we have any comments or corrections that need to be made or anything? Everything looks fine, okay. All those in favor?
Since Ian's remote, you have to do roll call.
A roll call vote.
Yes, sorry.
Ian?
Johnson, yes.
Rod?
Shafford, yes. Yes.
Earl? Jim Stewart?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Al Gordon, yes. It's unanimous. Okay, the next thing is the golf club building. Christie, do you have anything to update us on the?
I can update you on the community center and
Okay. All right, I do know, I signed the
Tyler
paperwork
can
for the, for the.
Yep, so related to the golf club, you all awarded to BHE, right?
Yes.
BFE, thank you, sorry. Architects, and so I know Enza processed the purchase order and we signed the contract, so that is in place. So I expect that at your next meeting, you would have someone here from there to get started, to talk about getting started.
Jim?
Yeah, so I've already met with them on site. They called me, and they did their initial walkthrough there. And then they were planning on sending a crew back to do measurements and do a Matterport design, 3D rendering of the building. I've been off for a few days, so I didn't hear from them, so I assume it hasn't been done yet. But I believe they plan on coming not on the 11th, but the 18th. Is it that? Is that our next? The next meeting is the 11th, right?
Jim, they actually already have come.
No.
They've already done the mapping of the building.
Okay, so they have done the map.
I met with them last week and we.
Okay, that's great. I did, we did make arrangements that day. We introduced Matt to him and said that Matt does have access to the building, so.
So I think we need to focus contact, just so that everybody knows what's going on. So we probably want to figure out who we want the point of contact to be, and then they should come and meet with this committee so that they can update you.
Right. Does somebody want to volunteer to be the contact for?
I mean, I would say it makes sense for Jim to be the contact, and then he'll just work with Matt. But
Right.
just to keep, so that, I mean, if that's okay
Yep.
with the committee.
Yeah, our next meeting is the 11th. So, I think that's a good idea. You are around,
Yeah,
and you can, do we need to take a vote on that?
I think we decided last time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think, it's
Yeah.
actually.
It's in the meeting.
It's in the
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
meeting
Right,
minutes.
I
so
wasn't here for
Jim will
that.
be the point of contact. And again, their meeting, if you can let them know that we'd like them to come in on the 11th, just to address us with what they've, what they've done so far.
Sure, and I believe that's what their plan was. They weren't going to make this meeting, but they would be at the next one.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And if we're going to post it hybrid, do you want them in person, or are you okay with them being remote?
I think we can make the offer to them. If they have somebody available to come in, that would be
Okay.
fine. But if they don't, if they could do it hybrid, that would be fine.
So I need to contact them.
You actually got an email from them. They just sent me an email about 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah. With, they said that they've got, they already did the mapping, they're still working on that one. They would like to sit down with you because they had some conceptual drawings. They just want to show you and get your thoughts. So
Okay.
you've got an email from them at some point.
I think that as far as drawings or anything like that, I'd rather have them presented to the whole board
Yeah.
here at our next meeting rather than just
Right,
me alone.
That's why I wanted to mention that because I just got it before I walked.
I'll contact them after this meeting today and set something up to have them here.
Okay. Chrissy, will you be around on the 11th?
No. But I can.
You can fly?
I can hybrid. I can be hybrid.
Not going to Hawaii?
I'm not going to Hawaii. No.
You're not
Yeah.
going to Boston.
Saved your seat.
Yeah, I can be hybrid on the 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was there any further on that? Okay. Chris, you want to update us on the
Actually,
rec building?
on the rec. So we had a meeting with the OPM, so we're really just talking about getting kicked off. We need to, we're still sort of in the same spot where we need to go out for the architect at this point. So we are meeting with the Boy Scouts and the community chorus. I know they were in attendance at some of your meetings related to moving out of the Harvey building, but we're probably a few months away from that anyway, because we don't even have an architect on board yet. But we are working closely with Grafton, and we do have some other communities that have expressed interest, so we're just kind of waiting to see if they're really interested in coming in. So when we know better, I'll let you know.
Is there a cutoff date for them when they can join in on the project?
There's not specifically, but when talking to the OPM, once we get closer, there could be a point at which we need to sort of hold them until after the project's completed, but we're not at that point yet.
Right, because, I mean, I would imagine, once you add more towns, you're gonna add more space
Right.
in there for setups for the individual
Yes.
towns.
Yep. So,
Yeah, and I think, Al, that the plan because when we first started this at the old site, as you probably know, we had 4 communities that were interested. So I know that the plan will be to build it out for additional. But I think Christie's right. As we talked, at some point, you have to lock it down to the kind of the founding communities, and then add on new communities post that. So, but I think, as Christie said, we're not at that point yet.
yeah.
We're talking about the building on Phillip Street that's gonna be converted to a communications center
Right.
for the fire departments
Correct.
and police departments.
Yep. That's my report.
Did you have
for that.
anything on Bay State Commons on the building down there?
We do. I don't know. Tyler's also sits on that, so I don't know if you
Okay.
want to
Yeah,
give an
sure.
update.
And Ian can keep me honest, he was there as well.
That's
We
right.
had a conversation after being pitched by
Move your mic so you can hear.
3 architect firms, BH&A, GRLA, and then I'm gonna miss the last acronym, but they were a firm from Pennsylvania,
KMA.
KMA.
Yeah.
So hearty conversation with the team about who to go with. We chose BH&A, so I believe the negotiation is underway with some diligence and community outreach to start as soon as July, but we'll see.
Yep, so we did that on Tuesday. We did the interviews, and then Tuesday night the select board voted to award because we made the recommendation. So just like Tyler said, we're just waiting for the price proposal so that we can negotiate it, and definitely getting started immediately related to community outreach. Everyone. All of the respondents, but definitely BH&A, understand the need to move quickly to get to that October date. So we're still targeting the October town meeting. And I would just say that they have a lot of experience in community centers. We have a whole list of different community centers that they've done in the state of Massachusetts. So they had some examples of what I would consider some like unique ideas. They had an example of that is that they had an auditorium that had this stage seating that could actually be pushed up against the wall to create a multi-purpose room. So things like that. I think we're going to get a lot of ideas, so creativity is going to be important.
Chrissy, once they were on board and having their work commencing, will they be reporting back to this group also here?
So we had that conversation. So the people who led the interviews was Jen Kirkland, our rec director, Alma DeMonch, our senior center director, myself, Kim Foster, Tyler as your representative, Ian as the select board's representative, but also representing MBC. So that's the group that's going to lead them in terms of the community engagement piece. And our thoughts were that we would that it would be our responsibility, myself, Tyler, Ian, to keep this committee updated. Once we get to the point where we have a schematic design or that phase, and then we go to town meeting, that would be when the MBC would kick off. Because I think that's what we talked about, is that the MBC doesn't want to be responsible for programming the building. You want to be responsible for the construction phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything further? No updates or anything? How are we standing with the Forbes with the closeout?
There's really no update. I mean, I just need to, I guess, circle back with Jim and maybe Peter Collins to see if there's anything outstanding, but, you know, ultimately, I think the actual project is completed. I mean,
Right, there's no further checklist, I don't think, is there, Jim?
No.
So, I mean, there's really nothing further that we can do with it at all. It's just a
Right.
matter of settling with 5-star on whatever is outstanding there.
yeah, and that's something that the select board is working on, so,
All right, yeah, we just hope at some point
yeah,
we can close it out and we don't have to be discussing it
yeah,
anymore.
yep,
Yeah, I think, as Christie said, the select board's working on it. And, you know, our hope is to resolve it soon
Okay.
and close this out. It's time.
Yeah, Ian or Christie, if you'd like my help on anything, just being in the business, I'd be glad to give you my opinion or.
Ron, can you speak into the microphone?
Yeah,
I
sorry.
just can't
I
hear.
was just going to say, I'd be glad to offer my help if you need me to review anything. I've been in the business a long time, and I'm pretty good at arm wrestling, if that helps.
Okay, thanks.
thanks.
Yeah, there's a little bit left open there that we've got to discuss with them, with the work and stuff, so certainly the Board of Selectmen are able to handle it right now, anyway. Okay, is there any other things we need to discuss with this? Nothing? I would like to say, I've been chair for, I think, 3 years now, 4 years. We probably should take a vote on, you know, establishing either a new chair or whatever we want to do. If anybody has any thoughts about, like, to fill this spot here, I have no problem stepping aside here.
I would ask you if you have any problem staying on.
I have no problem, but like I said, you know, I've done it for a few years now, but,
You're doing a great job.
you know, if there's somebody else that wants to.
Being the chairperson seems like it's a simple thing, but it really isn't. You control over a lot of the way the meetings flow and the directions and all that. I'm quite pleased with Al. If he's willing to stay, I'm more in favor of that.
I'm willing to accept it. I don't, you know, again, it's not all that much work. So obviously, I have the time to do it. But, you know, it's getting more involved now. But again, I was willing to step if somebody else was interested. We also need to name a co-chair, if we have anybody that's interested in that.
I'm already the co-chair.
Someone
else is.
I think Jim Stewart, yeah,
Okay.
I think Jim does a great job. He's very, you know, he's a town employee and he's on the bottom line of so much stuff. I think he makes a great vice chair.
I agree, and, you know, to me, Jim is here. He's
Yeah.
the eyes and ears
Right.
of us.
Yeah.
You know, he's here on a daily basis, so, you know, we do our meetings, but he is certainly the point person.
Right.
All right, do we have a motion then for chairman of the municipal
I
building
move
committee?
that Al be staying our chairman.
We have a
And
second.
that,
A second.
Okay, go ahead, Peter.
and then I also would move that our esteemed vice chair officially be vice chair, Jim Stewart.
Do we have a second on that?
I have a second.
Okay, we have a motion for myself, Al Gordon, as chairman, and Jim Stewart as vice chair. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll have to do a roll call vote. Ian?
Johnson, yes.
Rod?
Shafford, yes?
Peter?
Yes.
Story, yes.
Jim?
Stewart, yes.
Kyle?
Wiseman, yes.
Gordon, yes. So it's unanimous. Is there anything further? I don't think we have anything else on the agenda, really, unless anybody has any new business they want to bring up.
The only comment going back to the golf club, you know, I think we all recognize we have a pretty tight schedule. I think we should tell BFE we want an update at each meeting, so bi-weekly. And I think it'd also be helpful to have a schedule from them outlining from today till, you know, mid-September, what are the goals and what do we need to, I just want to make sure we stay on task. So if they could set a schedule in terms of what we should expect 2 weeks, then we can be prepared. And if there's people that we might want to have join us who have experience with whatever, we can make sure they're here.
I would definitely like to reiterate to them that we, you know, no later than the end of September, we need the report to be done. I mean, we've got to be able to present it to the FinCom, to the Select Board, and everybody that's a stakeholder here to make sure that we're ready for the October town meeting.
Yeah, I think what you said makes sense. I guess I would say in talking to the architects for the community center, I think they're targeting some of that similar work to be completed in August. So just so you have enough time to socialize it with the community. So just kind of keeping all of those things in mind. But one of the things to what Rod was saying about other folks, just as I know the Historic Commission came to one of your meetings, so trying to line up that communication, making sure that they're talking to each other either at this meeting or outside of this meeting.
Right, I think when they came, they were more of an introduction. So
Yeah.
we knew who we were gonna be dealing with them, but.
Yeah.
they
I just
didn't
know it's been on a couple of their agendas.
Right.
So.
Did they speak definitively if that was,
No, Chris, I think that's correct. I think I think we should invite them and communicate with them because they are interested, and I think over communicating or communicating, I should say, is good because we don't want any hiccups since the time frame is so tight, so.
yeah, did
And
they
then the one other thing is we had talked before about potentially doing an open house for the public at some point. So it's maybe something we want to talk to in this committee, but also the architects about is there's a time that we can do a community open house just to give some people a view of what the building condition, et cetera, looks like. So just something for us to consider.
Tyler?
Did the Historic Commission or the gentleman who dropped in on us, did they speak definitively that that would be a consideration? Or?
No, I don't.
I don't think he, I mean, he laughed at the, we'll keep the door, right? But I don't know that we got to a definitive
Well,
understanding.
Part of their historical thing is from 1947, I think, backwards. That building's well into that range, so
Yeah,
they could
so we'll be
consider
dealing
it.
with them. Is the,
I have a feeling that's where it's going,
very good.
Yeah, I believe they said they sent a letter to the state also.
yes.
So, I'm sure they're gonna wait for a response. I don't know what the state's response time is, but I'm sure they'll hear back, and I'm sure they're gonna make us aware of whatever the state has to say about it.
Yeah, I think Rod's point is well taken. Just if we're gonna meet on a more intensified clip, we should be getting regular updates or pushing for them, right? So.
Yeah, 100% agree. Okay, is there anything further? Okay, nice, quick meeting. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? Well, we do have a next meeting, July 11th, so we'll put that on our calendars. That could be remote for the people that can't make it. So again, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Earl? Do we have a second, Jim? Okay, any comments? No? Okay, our roll call vote. Ian?
Johnson, yes?
Rod?
Shafford, yes?
Peter?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
Gordon, yes. Thank you very much.